Hello all and welcome to my channel. So recently I saw a video from Codie Sanchez and she had answered a very thought-provoking question about financial freedom and why so many people do not reach that level. I want to share that clip with you and give you my comments because to me it was a great response. But before I go there guys, can you please hit the like, leave a comment, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and with your help I will certainly get there. Now let's get straight to this video.
Why do you think most people don't ever reach financial freedom in their lives? Do you think it's a psychology thing, a mindset thing? Obviously, let's take, the very practical elements out of the equation. So, severe hardship, poverty, all of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But people that are in that sort of middle layer that are comfortable, why do they never, some of those people never really reach a point of financial freedom?
I think humans defer to the paths they've seen before them. I think so often we follow in our father's or our mother's footsteps. And that's why I think the internet's really powerful, is you have an opportunity to now choose the family footsteps you want to follow into.
First of all, I love watching this podcast. He's so calm and eloquent. It's so peaceful how he asks these questions. And it's really a nice setting to ask some great questions like the one that he asked about financial freedom. And Codie Sanchez's response to me was spot on. And let's think about it for a second. A lot of times we always want to do the opposite of what our parents do. We just think that, whatever they did was wrong. We want to change our financial future. We want to make things better and not be just like them. But there's something about that makes you not realize, but the older you get, you start to realize you do have a strong pull towards your parents. For example, if you grew up in a struggle and you're saying, I never want to grow up in a struggle. I want to be able to have financial freedom and do all these great things. When things get hard, you would start to say, well, my parents did it. And if they could grind in this struggle, then I can. And you kind of put yourself in this bubble to think that being in a struggle, or in order to be successful, you need to be in this struggle, is what you need to stay in. And a lot of times people feel comfortable in the struggle when their backs are against the wall. So they manufacture that. They run up credit card bills. They do get student loans, cars. They make them life so difficult because that's what they're used to. They're used to a difficult financial life where then you need to fight and scrap to get yourself out of it. And as she mentioned, the beautiful thing about it with YouTube and all these autobiographies and whatnot is you can follow someone that you exactly want to be like, whether it's becoming a millionaire, whether it's becoming in shape and healthy, whatever the case may be. And you could just read up about them. You could follow them on Instagram. You could watch YouTube videos of them doing interviews and you could emulate them. Now you have access to all these people that you want to be like and you aspire to be like by using the internet. And that is extremely powerful.
So one, I used to think it was just a knowledge gap. But then I went to this event and I was talking to my friend about it. And she said that the facilitators did something really cool. It was a group of women, imagine like 40 women in a room, right? And they're there to talk about finances. And in this room, they said, okay, everybody close your eyes. And I want you to picture money. Picture money right now. And then I want you to turn your body into the shape you feel when you hear the word money, right? And so 30 women, all eyes closed, they take whatever shape. And she goes, now open your eyes and look around. And, my friend was explaining to me how most people in the room were like fetal position. They were like they were like really close, somewhere on the ground, some were covering their eyes. So in a room of 30 relatively successful women, their reaction was like attack, shame, guilt for money.
The discussion of money can have that effect on you. I think it's wild that once you start making money, you feel guilty about it. You feel like, man, there's people out there that are trying so hard to survive, that have $60,000 household median income, and they're struggling, and I'm here with like multi-million dollars. I made it, I grinded, and I feel I feel like, man, is this really all worth it? You feel embarrassed, you want to hide your wealth, you don't want people to judge you, you want people to know how much money you got. But when you don't have money, you do the same thing. You don't want to let people know how much money you don't have, but you want people to try to feel like you have a lot of money and you're not broke and you're wealthy and you're living this life of a baller. money just puts people in a very uncomfortable situation. So as she said in that seminar, how people were just like, feeling queasy about it, that's usually how people feel. Either you show it or it's inside of you with the money stress, and you're so paranoid and worried about money, and you just anxiety and stress that it's in you. And that's an unfortunate thing. And a lot of people do struggle with that. How do you feel about the discussion of money? Do you feel uncomfortable talking about it? Does it make you stressed? Leave a comment down below, because I really would like to know how you feel.
And when I think about my relationship with money, it's the same thing. I'm like, if I think about money, I'm like, yeah, it's over here. Like my hands are up. Like I am here for it. But most people have this weird emotional attachment to money. And so I used to think that people on the internet, I like Tony Robbins, but like Tony Robbins or whatever, who do a lot of the motivational stuff, I kind of didn't get it. I'm like, just give me the tactics, skip the other thing. And then I realized that most people have really bad stories that they tell themselves about money.
Yeah, that's really true. When you're in a room with a bunch of people that's looking for financial advice, and you have someone just pumping the crowd up and just getting you all motivated, you usually go back home, you make your budget, you start planning out how you're gonna spend your money, you can start planning out how you're gonna invest and reach your goal. You're pumped up. But then after a while, that dies down. Because as she said, it's the emotional side of money, and you constantly need that hit, that constant motivation, and watching Tony Robbins and listening to podcasts and doing all these things to get you going. Because some people are not able to think about money without someone being able to tell them it's all right. Someone holding their hand and letting them know it's gonna be okay. You're gonna make it, you're gonna hit all your goals, everything is fine, you're gonna become a millionaire or whatever the case may be, and everything's gonna be great. So I felt the same way. I felt like it's just knowledge. I think how she thinks was like, just do it. Simple. Just save. Stop spending. But that type of talk does not work. It really does not. And if it truly did work, then we wouldn't be in a bind that we're in now, where people are just struggling in this current society. As you see, people living paycheck to paycheck. That's some scary shit. They're really close to becoming homeless. And that is still not enough to make people change their lifestyle. That's why I do these YouTube videos, and there's so many people do YouTube videos and Instagram posts and all those things to motivate everyone out there to stop worrying about money and do not struggle. And you could make it. But a lot of stuff that people do is self-manufactured, and that's the that's scary.
I think it all comes down to what we believe, which is hard for somebody in finance like me to say, you know? Typically, I would think, well, if you knew what to do, you could just do it. But that's not the case. It's you have to believe that you can do it. And the only way I can figure out to get more people to believe that they can do it is to show more people who are super normal or in fact below average doing the damn thing. But if I had the answer to that, that'd be the $1 million question. I read a stat in the US that only 1 in 10 people dies wealthy in the US, that most people die broke and young.
It truly is how you believe about money. It really is. I hear so many people out there that says money doesn't make you happy. Okay, that could be true. A lot of times it is the truth, but money does give you opportunities for freedom. But people don't want to see that because some people are afraid of money. They're afraid of having the responsibility of having all this money, and they might lose their friends. They might have some responsibilities they're not used to. They're afraid of blowing it all. There's so many scenarios when people hear about money, they get worried. And when people hear about the lack of money, they get paranoid, they get nervous, stressed out, and they don't even do anything about it as well. And some people grew up where in their household, all they talked about was money. So they felt like if I don't have money, I'm doing something wrong. If I don't make all the money that I possibly can, get this great career, get this great job, get this great car, get this great house, something is wrong. And then you live in an opposite household where people talk about no money. And then you go out there in the world and recognize, there's a lot of stuff about money that I don't know. And unfortunately, the economy has something nice for people out there that do not know what to do with the money. They start offering you credit cards. They start offering you student loans. They start offering you all these pipe dreams, and you have to get all this debt to get it. And then once you get all that education, once you get that house, once you get that car, you turn around and you're like, how the did I end up here? How did I end up with all this junk? And you recognize your emotions are very powerful. And that's what driven you to a point where you accumulated so much debt and now you're extremely stressed.
Obviously, it's a very complex topic, but I think I really resonate with the emotional, psychological side of things that you described. You know, it's the same reason why most people don't go to the gym or eat healthy. Money is inherently emotional. When I had no money, I was reckless with money.
Right.
All the gambling shops are in the areas where people don't have money. There's something deeply psychological about money. So when I was working in those call centers, if I got paid £1,000 at the end of the month, I would the same day go and buy a TV or an Xbox, like a PlayStation, for about £600-700. I would not pay my rent to go and buy that PlayStation. And sometimes I'd buy the PlayStation without having a TV. There was just something psychologically attached to the dopamine rush or the sense of self-worth that I got from owning the shiny thing. When I got money, my relationship with money became amazing.
That is very true. And let me share with you a story that I resonate with him when he mentioned about buying the PlayStation. When I was young in my neighborhood, everyone wanted to be a DJ, a rapper, something in the hip hop industry. And for me, I love the idea of making music. So there was something out there called the MPC. I'm not sure if many people heard about it, but pretty much it's a beat machine you could buy. It's $1,000, $1,200 or something like that. Now I was like 16, 15 years old, and I worked summer jobs. I did all the things to buy that equipment. And that's a lot. I mean, $1,200 for a kid doing a summer job, getting like $300, $400. That's a lot of money you need to save up and a lot of foregoing on things that you want to do. And could you believe the time that I finally saved that money to go buy it? And number one, I had to buy in New York, and I was really paranoid because I didn't have a car. My parents wasn't involved in this, so I had to walk to New York, buy it, bring it in the train. I was paranoid that I'm gonna get robbed. So I tried to pick a specific time of the day and a specific day of the week, I was still going to school, to buy it and hope that no one robs me. With that being said, I made the dumb mistake to go to the mall and hang out with my friends. I seen a shirt, I liked it, I bought it. I seen a few more shirts, I liked it, I bought it. There was some basketball jerseys I thought was cool, I bought it. You know what? I needed some new sneakers. I blew all my money that day. When I saved it specifically for that equipment, I blew all that money that day on clothes. And I sat down and thought about it and was like, well, you know, I could borrow my friend's equipment, it's all good. But when I got older, I recognized that's how strong consumerism is. That just shows you walking in a mall with no money. That's why I don't like window shopping. They're gonna get you into that store and start buying and offering you a credit card. You cannot go into the store without them offering you a retail card. That's just the way it is. And that's when I recognize, man, consumerism is strong. It's a strong pull, and it's there to take your money. And for some particular reason, you work so hard for things and you just blow it away without even realizing it. It's pretty sad. And to this day, I never forget that story.
More broadly on the subject of why people don't reach financial freedom, I think the modern world tells us that we can get rich quick.
Yeah.
And when you think about how people build wealth, we think about the Warren Buffetts of the world, it's so boring and slow. And who's going to buy that book?
Yeah.
You know, be a billionaire at 87. What? I'm not going to be able to, dance in the nightclub at 87. So why do I want $1 billion then?
Yeah.
That's why the NFT thing and the crypto scam, this whatever, is also appealing to people.
Yeah.
Because it's quick.
Yeah.
That is so true. Unfortunately, the whole traditional way of investing and saving, it does seem boring. And people don't want to put money into 401k for that day when they retire to enjoy that money. So a lot of people are out there right now, which is a beautiful thing, on trying to make money now at a young age. Some people do the FIRE, some people do the FI. There's a whole bunch of variations of trying to accumulate so much wealth to gain financial freedom. I'm one of them. I got into a point where I'm like, man, working corporate America is not something I want to do for the rest of my life. There's so many opportunities out there doing YouTube videos, starting your own business, doing whatever that I could do now in hopes of not strictly just becoming financially free, but just not being so financially reliant, not being reliant on a company and to get a constant flow of income in order to support my lifestyle that I currently have now. I want to make enough doing what I enjoy, which is these YouTube videos, that will give me time for myself. And I'm enjoying it and I'm getting what I need out of life and I'm getting money to support my habits and I'm good. Then I'm good and I don't need none of that stuff. And that is my major goal. So this video to me was like, it's amazing how people just are with money. It really is. But for anyone out there that's currently struggling and they're just like, man, this seems hard, the cost of living, inflation, hang on. Do not give up. Do not give up. Anytime you see stuff out there that's trying to get your money, NFTs, cryptos, stay away from that. Just grind. Do what it is that you love and pursue it. Stop worrying about what people think about you. Because the unfortunate thing is, broke people like keeping people broke. And if you don't want to be broke no more, you gotta do that's different from everyone else. And that's hard and it's difficult. But in the end, it's so rewarding.